Right now, let's bring in former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendorfer. Now, Jennifer, as Brian just said, there's still so many questions here, but let's start with that new information. And we know there are people who adamantly still believe Brian Laundrie is alive. Brian Entin just tells us that they used DNA testing to confirm those are Laundrie's remains. So can we finally have that theory put to bed once and for all?
Yes, we can. And I do understand that this is totally a thought that is held by many people in mainstream America. That is, that Brian Laundrie was alive. They did not trust the dental record identification, even though it's really the gold standard of identifying a body. Nevertheless, now that the DNA evidence has been analyzed and the result is it is Brian Laundrie, it's unequivocal that Brian Laundrie is not alive.
All right.
I do want to add, though, that some people believe that are conspiracy theory that he had a mandibulectomy where they actually removed the mandible. That is a theory that is out there. And this evidence that actually the skull was fractured due to gunshots. In other words, that's how you can tell that he died of a gunshot wound. That in and of itself should alleviate that concern, because there is evidence from the mandible that he was indeed committed suicide.
All right, Jennifer, well, let's focus on the gun that was apparently missing from the Laundrie house. Now, I spoke with Brian Entin during rush hour. He mentioned it again just now. Again, obviously, we're not investigators in this case, but why are we just hearing about this missing gun if they had told investigators this from the beginning?
Well, of course, we're not hearing a lot that the FBI knows and law enforcement knows. But yes, it is very interesting. But I will say, in the social media circles, there's a lot of evidence out there that he had a gun that was circulating and has been circulating for months. There's a photo of a gun in Brian Laundrie's room. There was a photo of a gun being held by Gabby Petito, and this was a very unique gun with an American flag on it. And so there's always been some evidence out there that Brian Laundrie and or Chris Laundrie, that there was a gun in that home. Now we know that that some were turned over, but that at least one wasn't. And I would suspect that that is the murder. What he used to commit suicide.
All right, so Jennifer, given this new information, are Brian's parents going to face some tough questions here? We know they helped lead investigators to his body almost as soon as that nature preserve was reopened. We're now finding out they knew a family firearm was missing. You're a former FBI agent here. Is this behavior that needs a second look? Could they still face consequences?
It definitely needs a second look, and it is being looked at. There's a couple of things that I noticed right after Brian Laundrie's body was found. First of all, Bertolino specifically said he was contacted by the FBI regarding possible charges of the Laundries. That was a huge revelation to me, and that was about 3 weeks ago. At that point, I knew the FBI is looking into something, probably an obstruction or something along these lines, aiding and abetting, that they're at least considering because they contacted him. Now we have further information regarding this from the Petito family, that they said they've been told by the U.S. Attorney's Office not to speak of this further. That makes me think they are still involved in looking into the Laundrie's possible involvement in this.
All right, so let's move on to the notebook. We know that there was a notebook found with his remains. His remains had been exposed to the elements for weeks. Obviously, that means the notebook was exposed to the elements as well. So, based on your experience in the FBI, do they have the tools to find out what was written inside of that notebook at this point?
Oh, they definitely have the tools. We just don't know exactly what condition the notebook was in. But if it was in that dry bag, for those of you who dive or who use dry bags, they keep everything very dry. And so I think it's very possible if that notebook was in there that they're going to be able to get information. They're able to pull ink back off of pages. They can take the indentation from pages and actually be able to read what was written on those pages. It's amazing what the FBI lab can do with records just like this.
Well, and Jennifer, you've certainly always talked about justice for Gabby. We know there was such a following of this case that really wants to see justice for Gabby, knowing what we know at this point, knowing that there are still so many unanswered questions. In your opinion, what does justice for Gabby look like at this point?
Well, justice for Gabby is, first of all, the FBI coming forward and releasing the results of their investigation, which I believe will show that Brian Laundrie is responsible for her death. That would be at least some form of justice for this family and for Gabby Petito.
And I have one last question for you. His parents, in those critical days after, Gabby was missing, they were harboring Brian in the home. Could they face consequences for that?
And I think that that is another facet the FBI is looking at. What did they know? What did they possibly cover up to protect their son, Brian Laundrie?
All right, Jennifer Coffindoffer, we certainly appreciate your expertise as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.